Silence and peace follow the chaotic battle for the crown. Arcasia's island has been saved. The sand has retreated, and the illusion that once had a hold of this place has vanished. Yet our story is not over. The next chapter of our tale begins at the break of dawn, but for now, we are frozen in a strange time. A time where whispers of what was and what might be rustle through the trees like secrets carried on the wind. Welcome to the prologue. And welcome back to another episode of the Ink Table Podcast, a Lorcana podcast where a group of fellow Illumineers gather around the metaphorical ink table and share their table talk with you. So if you enjoy lore, art, a sense of community, comedic banter, or just all things Disney, then pull up a seat and join hosts Dylan Bailey and Preston McNair as they discuss the future of Lorcana and what may be in store.
Ooh, yes, it is the prologue. And we're back already. And again, breaking our monthly cadence. I know. Same clothes. Back-to-back doubleheader. I know it's been a week for you guys, but it's only been like 15 minutes for us. So, as Preston likes to say, all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes. Whenever we were deciding how we wanted to record, again, we wanted to record before Gen Con, but that just didn't happen because internet and Dylan's internet did not mix and weather. But we just decided we would just rip the Band-Aid off and just go ahead and do 2 dedicated episodes. So we're still trucking, so we're got another jam-packed episode for y'all.
But yes, this is essentially the prologue of everything that is to come going forward. By the time this video releases, I think we'll probably have 1 to 2 weeks, maybe. Maybe before Fabled actually releases. Is that right? That's crazy to think about. So, in this episode, some of the things and the highlights that we will be covering are some of the big things that were actually revealed at Gen Con during that second anniversary panel that we were fortunate enough to be part of. So we'll look at all the Fabled news, the card reveals, and a lot of reprints that are happening. But then we'll also cover what I'm super excited for in Whispers in the Well, the future after that in set 11 of Winterspell, and then the unnamed set 12 that will introduce Pixar. And not only all of that, we'll cover some of the amazing things that's going on for the collecting community within the world of Lorcana and all the great things that Ravensburger is doing right now. But first, before we get started on any of that, let's play a quick and fun game that we haven't done in quite a while.
Custom card ranking. So it's been a while since we've done this. Again, this is something that we had planned in the episode that we had to scratch because of Dylan's internet and whatnot, but we are flipping the script today. Dylan is blind ranking the custom cards, and this all stemmed because my wife came to me the other night. She's like, she's like, can I pitch a custom card? I'm like, I'm sure we have no problem with it. And then I ran the idea by Dylan. Dylan's like, make 3. Flip the script. Let's do it. And my wife got so excited. So if you are just now seeing this segment before we get into all the other news, what I'll do is you will see the custom cards that we have made, and Dylan will have to blind rank them. And we only have 3 today. So Dylan will rank them number 1 for being first, second, and then third, respectively. Again, these are not cards that exist. These are cards that we would like to maybe see exist here. But Dylan, it's so weird being on this side of the table. What, Dylan, are you ready?
I think I'm ready. And just so people understand, this is a blind ranking, so I've never seen these cards before, and I'm not going to see all 3 at once, but one at a time. The moment I see the first one, I will have to judge whether it'll go through 1, 2, or 3.
Yep.
And then it's stuck there. I can't move them around.
Yep. So let's do it. So first up, I'm dropping this into the Discord. It should be coming up now. It is a Ruby card. A Ruby card, character Glimmer. We have Shank, Queen of the Road.
Ooh.
Dylan, what do we got here?
Ooh, 7 cost uninkable, 5/7. That's pretty freaking powerful. Storyborn ally racer. Of course, Amanda comes up with a racer card. I mean, that makes perfect sense. I mean, her and her racer deck. So, quest for 3, shift 3. That's interesting because that's to say that we have another Shank card that this can go on top of, or morph, I guess. Rush, which makes sense. We should have Rush on more racer characters, in my opinion. Then her ability, Style for Miles. Once per turn, when this character challenges an opposing character, you may play a racer character for free. Oof. That's super powerful.
Borderline
Super
broke.
powerful.
Listen, we're not game designers here.
Borderline. No. Yeah, right? Like, that could work. Maybe if it's maybe not challenge, but, like, maybe if you banish a character in a challenge. Ah,
She's
so
all about
I'm gonna
making
put
races
this
work.
one is fortunately, Amanda, I'm gonna put this one at 3 because I don't know what she's shifting
For
onto.
the other thing.
It's
Yeah.
like, what if I don't wanna play the shift target? Or if the shift target's, like, a little high, or it's an uninkable too.
Yep.
And as much as I love racer characters, not the biggest fan of Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Fair. It's funny because I got introduced to that one, and ironically, I really like Breaker Ralph too, just because of all the internet, like, references and
Yeah.
whatnot. So it's pretty fun. So all right, so Shank going in 3 here. That's a very good call. You don't know what the shift could be. Could the smaller Shank be a 5 cost? We don't know. All right, so in the 3 spot. So next up, a Sapphire card, a
Okay.
Sapphire Chin Song. You've got a friend in me.
As a sapphire card. A 1 cost inkable. You draw a card, you remove up to 2 damage from chosen character this turn.
So there's a thought behind it.
Interesting.
It's an action song, but what if Popsicle doesn't get reprinted? So that's where my wife's mindset came from this one.
Right. See, and again, I know your wife a little bit. I know Amanda. So, yes, Popsicle heals. And Grandpappy is Sapphire and it heals. But I feel like a song like this would be more fitting for Amber.
Mm, very true. Heels.
But not knowing what comes next and just judging it on this card alone, a 1 cost, it's inkable, anybody can sing it, it's card draw, and I can heal some of my characters. I like it. I'm putting this in my number 1 spot. I'm playing this in Steel Sapphire, and I'm using it to remove damage from my bodyguards.
Draw a card. I like that it's a song too. That's a good touch. So it's not always lingering around. I feel like with Popsicle, it kind of lingers until you need it. So with this, it's
Yeah.
like you have to time the use of it. So all right, you got a
Can't really
friend.
bring it back.
Yep, can't bring it back. And finally, our third and final card of our blind ranking here. It is a
Stuck in the 2
Ruby.
spot.
Yeah, so this takes the 2 spot by default, but a Ruby item. And Dylan might have to restrain his wife here because we have Lester's Possum Park souvenir.
Okay. 4 cost inkable. Lester's Possum Park souvenir. You dropped your hat. Exert and pay 2 ink. Once per turn, you may move up to 2 damage from chosen character to chosen opposing character. Interesting.
I think
So,
her reasoning behind this one, again, I was half asleep whenever she was designing these, because there's so much emotional damage in that scene. Moving damage
yeah.
kind of like the right move there.
And then the ruby kind of fits everything we're seeing, which we'll see later on too, with a lot of the Goofy movie or a Goofy movie and Powerline cards being ruby as well. I mean, it's stuck at the 2 spot. I like it. I could see this working in like Ruby Amethyst decks. It kind of trends towards more Amethyst than Ruby.
True, moving damage a little bit.
Yeah, but I,
So
I like it. I mean, play that in Infinity with Hydra and whatever else.
fair, yeah. So not too bad. Again, the racer thing, I feel like something like Shank would really be useful for racer decks, just to kind of give it that little oomph. But it's like, how strong do you go and whatnot. But I will say though, related to this, but also not related to this, if we don't get this item or the Leaning Tower of Chiza by the time these reveals are done, I'm gonna riot. Like, these are 2 items I want to see in Fabled so bad. So maybe we're manifesting a little bit. maybe we're manifesting.
Tend to do that, even unknowns. We tend to do that, which we'll talk about that in just a couple more sections here.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been quite a few times that we've played this awesome little custom card game, and then whatever we've shown off has in some way became a card. I mean, even back to like when we had Rebecca on and we showed off Thumper, and then we just recently got Thumper in Reign of Jafar.
And it's so unfortunate that we couldn't record before Gen Con because a custom card that Dylan had made
On the ready.
actually got revealed. We'll talk about that because that's one of my picks for my cards. So, but let us know in the comments on whatever platform what your ranking was for our custom cards here. Nice little flip the script here. Put Dylan on the other side of the table and blind rank some cards. So, kind of foreshadowing for what we got coming up next here. But so moving on, kind of related to the Goofy movie, but Fabled. We are 3 weeks away from Fabled, roughly at this rate. Sealed is quickly approaching us, but we got a lot of really cool Fabled news at the second anniversary panel. Now, again, if you have not seen our video of the second anniversary celebration panel that took place at Gen Con, we do have a video up on our YouTube channel where we do some pre and post thoughts of that panel. But we are going to highlight a few here for you all in this episode of the Ink Table. So first up, the big one that had its own dedicated video, the longest video, and it's actually a dedicated video on Ravensburger's YouTube channel, is obviously with the Goofy Movie and Fabled Powerline. And what a card. What a Ruby card at that. I will never forget the audible gasps in the room as this card slowly got revealed, because what they did is they ended up doing a making of a card type video where they go behind the scenes of like how much strength, how much willpower, how much does it quest for, what's its ability. But that Singer 9 is nuts. I don't even know how to articulate it.
It's nuts because that's the largest singer we have seen. Then it goes back to something we've talked about before with the identity of ink colors, with Powerline being revealed as the first Ruby singer.
Yep.
Because they've made such a big deal about ink identity in the past that even if you go back and you watch that card, yeah, Portosphere. But if you go back and you watch that video that we're talking about, that dedicated one that they have talking about the making of this card, they get to the part where they talk about it being a singer, and they kind of just say that it's a Ruby card, and their reasoning behind it is because it's Powerline. He just has to be. Like, that's it. There was no really any other significant reasoning behind it whatsoever. It was just they felt like making him Ruby, so they made him Ruby.
Yeah. I will say though, like while the panel was great and everything else, this is the one thing that I'm having a hard time dissect a little bit, because there's such a big deal made about Fortisphere and ink identity and whatnot, and now we're giving Ruby singer cards for the first time, which I mean, I guess it's thematic. Powerline being a notorious character that wears a lot of red in the Goofy movie and stuff like that, but there was beyond that, there was really no other context behind why this is a Ruby singer. So that is probably my only gripe about this card is we talked about Fortisphere during the bans and Ink Identity, but now we're giving Powerline a singer ability. Am I wrong in that, or is
I agree. I personally agree. It's confusing to me. The only argument that I'm really seeing people make, and I can accept it, and I can be understanding of it, is just because there is a keyword or an ability on a specific card of a ink type doesn't mean it can't be on another.
right?
If we go back to even the custom cards that you just showed off with the removing damage, we talked about how Grandpappy, Popsicle, stuff like that in Sapphire removes damage, but so does Amber. Okay. Bodyguards are synonymous to me, for Still. But I believe that there are more Amber bodyguards than there are Still bodyguards. Evasive. Evasive isn't just in one category. I mean, it's in Amethyst, it's in Emerald, some of it's even in Ruby. I mean, you can turn around and talk about it with Reckless and stuff like that too. Yes, the ink colors, they might have their primary identities, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can't split off and share keywords and abilities that other inks have as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess a lot of that's just where I'm just like very like key ink identity here. But the ability though, matchup, and one thing I want to address before we continue on, I will go on record and say now that Fabled really isn't a story set, which we'll talk about. It seems that my prediction of things going weird with time and ink color attributes going to other cards doesn't really appear to be the thing. I like to think I was pretty good at my educated guess, but it kind of is what it is there. But
And I was
the
with
ability,
you.
what was it? Sorry.
I was with you 100%. That's it's not what we thought it was, but
Nope. I thought there was more to it, but nope. They're just Ruby's getting singers. But the ability mashup, questing for 2, it's a 6-drop inkable. Once during your turn, whenever this character sings a song, there's a lot of songs that Ruby and other colors can sing. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a song card with cost 9 or less and play it for free. Whoa. There's a lot of things Powerline could solo.
Powerline gets to sing 2 songs, essentially, right? Or he's singing one song, and then you get to potentially, and then you potentially play another one for free.
Yep.
It's a lot of actions played in a single turn. So maybe Emerald Ruby likes that.
Maybe.
But
Pirate's Life.
Right? Pirate's Life. I mean, if you're just strictly talking Ruby, I mean, it hasn't been revealed as of time of recording, but be prep, even in Infinity, you can easily sing it by himself. Any sing together song for the most part, he can sing alone by himself.
Yeah, he can sing it. So
unless he's like Ariel, Spectacular Singer, and he just whiffs.
Yeah, which I mean, four card Ariel goes 5 deep, right?
That's a John question. I think it's 4.
4.
4.
Okay.
4.
4.
4.
Yep.
So he's not digging any deeper than what Ariel would. So I'm looking forward to this. Now I will say this: John is a Steel Song player at heart. John, do I see a Ruby song in your future?
Probably, because Steel Song I don't think is going to be worth a nickel because half the stuff's not getting reprinted. So, I mean, there's a lot of Steel Songs that's just not going to get reprinted this time around. I don't know. Yeah. And Amber, for that matter, Amber singers. No Cinderella so far, no Ariel. So there's a 1-drop and a 3-drop. Singer 1 or 3 and 5. So I don't know. I don't think Steel Song's going to be quite what it used to be, if it's even a thing. We'll see.
We'll see. But also with Powerline 2, that Enchanted though.
Yeah, because not only did we get this version, but we got the Enchanted version as well. And I think I really enjoy the art on all of the Enchanteds from Fabled that we've seen.
Yep. All the enchantments have been really good. There's one that we're not going to talk about in the show, but I really like how the enchanted versions of these cards are modified. Like the Shift 4 doesn't get all the additional text with it. Singer 9 was never there to begin with. So I like how they are optimizing the enchanted cards to be a little bit more blingy, and there's not a whole bunch of text on the cards. Now you have to keep the mashup ability, right? But the enchanted here and the tagline, "World's greatest rock star," is so fitting, so fitting for Powerline. And this is a franchise that I know a lot of people have such a deep emotional connection to. I listen to the Lorcana Muses. They're kind of like my comfort podcast. I put them in, I cut grass or whatever, and all of them went nuts whenever this was revealed. So it's so cool to see people have such a deep connection with this franchise, and then getting the enchanted treatment right out of the gate is really exciting. So all the enchantments have been really good. The art direction here has been great.
Not only is Powerline getting the enchanted treatment, but lots of other Goofy movie cards are getting some
Yeah.
love and treatment as well, because we also get to see Eye to Eye and Stand Out, with Eye to Eye immediately getting an enchanted version and Stand Out getting the new epic rarity.
Yep. I could see some blinged out Goofy movie decks in some future. I'm really
For
excited to
sure.
get my hand on these epic cards in a few weeks, assuming we pull one. But I'm eager to see how they look. There was what was it? The Creative Main Stage, is that the name of it?
I think so.
Something like that. They had that recently on Wednesday, and they talked all about the art. We'll mention more of that. But yeah, standout, Eye to Eye, amazing. And something interesting that kind of not inside our show notes, but something that came out of that creative main stage that I thought was really noteworthy, and something that we've even talked about offline and off the podcast, is Disney's involvement in these cards. And somebody asked the question, how involved is Disney in the card designs and improving them, or not improving them, but approving them? And someone on the Ravensburger team said that Disney is involved in every card, and that was actually a kind of a neat little fun fact, if you will. And it doesn't surprise me considering how critical Disney IP is to the success of the brand. But that was just really interesting to hear that Disney is involved in every single card's art, because they want to make sure that Rapunzel looks like Rapunzel, and stand out. You got to make sure it's all fitting the brand, right?
I mean, as a Kingdom Heart fan, that's not news to me at all. I know how they are. I mean, I know how it is. They have to be involved if it's their IP, their product. They have to make sure that it is pristine and meets that Disney standard or bar of expectation.
Yeah. But not only in Powerline is on the second anniversary panel, but we also got a franchise that I've been looking forward to for a while. But we have Dumbo.
Something we've actually predicted would come to
Yeah.
Fabled.
Yes, we you know
Months
what
ago.
we did? We did predict Dumbo coming in Fable. Now that you mention it, it was right whenever Fable got released or got announced, and we're like, we could see us going into older stories. So what was it? Mickey and the Beanstalk and Dumbo, I remember, was our big ones. Ah, thank you for remembering that. I almost forgot about that. But no, we got Dumbo. So now Dumbo did get the enchanted treatment. Spoiler: I don't think we have that card inside our notes here, but we do have two cards here. We should be seeing. We see Dumbo the Flying Elephant in Amethyst with Evasive, and whenever you play this character, chosen character gains Evasive, the aerial duo ability, and then we have Timothy Q Mouse, the Flight Instructor. When you have a character with Evasive in play, this character gets +1 lore. And gotta love the flavor text. Stick with me, kid, and we'll be flying all the way to the top. So 1/4. So
Love it.
Love it. I think Amethyst is the perfect color for Dumbo, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think so.
I think we actually had a custom card of Dumbo that was amethyst in the past.
You know what? Yeah, that's right. It feels good to successfully predict a few things, and this being one.
This is not our first time doing this. And
No, it's like
freaking
we have
awesome.
talked about these cards before. Dumbo did get the enchanted treatment. There's a legendary Dumbo. I want to make sure that I'm not talking crazy here. There is a legendary Dumbo. I don't think we have it inside our show
No,
notes,
we
but
don't. So the pictures that we are showing are direct screenshots that came from the actual second anniversary panel. Since then, there have been multiple articles that you can find in the Burger or in the Lorcana app or on Lorcana's website where you can actually go and check out even more Dumbo cards that have been released, and including that legendary and the enchanted, and a ton more of Goofy movie cards because we don't have them here. But we recently got PJ, we got a Max who is also a Ruby Singer, I think a Ruby Singer 5, a couple of more Goofy cards, the family fishing pole, and what's your boy's name with the Leaning Tower of Cheesa?
Oh, I can't say his name. I'm gonna slaughter it. Oh goodness. I will give it my best shot. Best shot. It is Bobby Zimbruski.
Bobby.
Great, Bobby. Also, there's a card in here. It's not inside the show notes, so apologies. We're kind of going off the rails, but there is a base like a common or uncommon Goofy where he's Emerald and he has the card. He has the car packed up in the background. That's probably my favorite art of the entire set. Just that scene and having the car packed up. I saw that. I'm like, I love how they depicted that scene. So Dumbo is coming to Fabled, a franchise that we predicted. Oh boy, the big one. The iconic cards. At the second anniversary panel is the first time that we saw Minnie. And I remember looking at Dylan going, oh no. I was like, I want both of them now. So,
First time we've seen him unblurred too.
first time we've seen them unblurred, but you look at these cards and you just think, what a moment in Lorcana's history. Like this game shouldn't exist right now. I keep going back to that, but the game's been renewed. Like this game shouldn't exist right now. And the fact that we have these beautiful iconic cards is wild. And if you're not familiar with the iconic rarity, this is a new rarity that they are doing. Not every single set going forward is going to have iconic cards, but they are harder and more rare than enchanted cards. So keep in mind there is 0 numbers on pull rates. They do not discuss pull rates or anything like that. I think right now the educated guess, prediction, whatever, is every 1 in 4 cases is going to have this. I don't know. Like obviously that's a guess that I'm hearing tossed around. We have no idea. But these cards are absolutely gorgeous, and the abilities are also noteworthy as well. Specifically with Mickey. What do you think, Dylan?
So absolutely love Mickey. I think we've talked about him a couple of times. So before we got this version, and we saw the blurred version, we knew that he was a Ruby Floodborn. Our big question was, okay, he's a 3 cost, he's a Floodborn. What's he shifting onto? Because typically when a Floodborn is revealed, you have to have a shift target of the same ink type in order for that Floodborn to exist. And we don't have a 1 cost or a 2 cost Ruby Mickey yet. I think we could still potentially get one, maybe. But this card we're seeing is a shift 5. Even though he is a 3 cost, he is a shift 5. So it's going to cost you more to shift him than it is to just play him straight from your hand and hardcast it. Why? Well, because of his ability here, Crowning Achievement. Because if you shift this character, while this character has a card underneath him, So if you shift him on a Mickey, a Morph, or anything, and there is a card underneath him, then he gets +3 strength, +3 willpower, and +3 lore. So he goes from a 2/2/1 to a 5/5/4.
That's a beefy boy there. That's a big boy. Wow.
So big boy the quest for a lot.
And keep in mind that there are standard versions of these cards. The iconic cards are just the
Yes.
iconic rarity of this. So there will be standard cards of both Mickey and Minnie, but this is the first time we've seen it, and he's evasive too, which is insane. Minnie, on the other hand, 2/4, questing for 2. Other characters named Mickey Mouse gain support, and then also whenever this character quests, you may banish chosen exerted character with 5 strength or more. So a little bit of a removal, but also giving Mickey the support ability as well. So Amber Ruby being able to give this Mickey support, give 5 strength to another character sounds pretty wild to me and pretty fun to pull off. Being
You know
able
what's
to
crazy?
What's that?
So you just off the reading that card or hearing it, you could potentially give a character Mickey would have support if you had that mini in play.
Correct.
Mickey could quest, and then your strength, instead of giving it to one of your own characters, you could choose your opponent's characters as well.
Oh.
So you could boost the strength of your opponent's characters as long as they don't have ward in order
Yeah.
to get Minnie's other ability to work, the Bye Bye Now, that whenever she quests, you may banish chosen exerted character with 5 strength or more. So if you have Mickey with support, quest him, pass his strength over to an opponent, and increase their strength to that 5 threshold or higher, then Minnie can quest and banish them.
Yeah, there's the combo. The wombo combo. That'll be really interesting. We've seen some decks try that, like some Amber Steel songs have tried World's Greatest Criminal Mind and stuff like that, with the Queen boost up and give support to another character or supporting to another character. So that's pretty cool to see them play off each other. One of the last pieces I want to mention about this card, though, is during the artist showcase on Discord main stage, is the gold foiling outlining in these cards. Oh, it looked amazing. But also, I asked, I don't know if they directly responded to my question, but I asked the question, did the golden DLC Brave Little Tailors inspire these iconic cards at all? And the gold foiling inside these, kind of like the outlines and brims and stuff like that, is the same techniques and whatnot that they use in the Brave Little Tailor Golden Mickeys. So once they said that, I was like, is it possible to want something even more than what you had a deep desire for to begin with? So,
So not only the gold foiling, but they also have 3D hot stamp effects,
yeah,
and then there is a custom lore star foil. So everywhere you look on these, that you see all the little sparkly, shiny lore stars, that is a totally different layer that they have within like the card itself that is custom made, like lore star. And then the biggest thing of all, these were the first cards that they specifically said anything about during the second anniversary panel, and then they expanded on that later on. But we now know that these iconic cards, along with all legendaries and higher rarities going forward, will have a special security stamp on the card. I think we
yeah.
have a pretty good picture of that too.
I think that's from the lore cast actually. So I remember talking to Dylan. I was like, we were getting these card reveals, and I'm like, why does the legendary symbol look so different? Now we know. So this is something that they're doing, just like Dylan mentioned, in every legendary and higher card. So legendary, epic, enchanted, and iconic. So a total of 4 rarities. But the idea behind this is to protect collectors and be able to identify fakes. So if you are purchasing a card from Fabled and I presume the future, and you're looking at the legend at the rarity symbol in the very bottom, if it does not have this design, this I believe they call it the security foiling over the rarity symbol, then you are likely dealing with a fake card. So that is such a good thing for everybody, but in particular the collectors out there. I'm happy. I'm excited for the entire community, but collectors in particular.
I'm surprised they didn't do this from the beginning because most card games do that now. Star Wars Unlimited's been like that since day one. They're legendaries and higher. I have
Oh,
the holograms on there, so you know they're authentic. So I'm really
yeah.
surprised with Disney being so anti-piracy stuff. I'm really surprised they didn't do this earlier.
Again, I think a lot of it goes back to, did we really expect it to get to where we are today? Maybe, and kind of go from there.
And I don't think it's on the Disney side. I think it's on the puzzle people side. We got to remember this is their first time getting into TCGs. Yeah, they've played with plenty of cardboard in the past with board games and cardboard, but on the TCGs market in particular, this is all new to them, and they are truly still finding their footing.
Yep. And I'll say this
Any
too.
improvements like this, we love.
And I'll say this too, because I know that I've bought enchanted cards and other limited rarity cards. Dylan, I know you have bought cards as well from the secondary market. I've just always been very hesitant to buy collectible cards and whatnot because I'm always afraid of the whole possibility of it being fake. Which is why I normally, if I'm buying like the D23 card, for example, the Mickey Mouse,
It's got to
I
go through a
wanted to,
certified third
I
party
wanted to be
in
PSA
order.
graded.
Yeah,
I wanted
right.
it to be graded so that way I knew I was at least able to look at a PSA slab and scan the QR code and feel the bumps around the casing and look at the foiling in the label to get some sort of authenticity. But if you're buying a card raw, you don't have this. And that's been my biggest hesitation. And Dylan, I know that you've bought on the secondary market. I think this is a win all around for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Because right now you're really hoping that places like the TCG player and other third party markets, like I've bought through PPG and places like that, and like the vendors that we kind of saw at Gen Con, you're really kind of hoping that they do their part in
Yeah.
authenticizing all of their cards that you're purchasing. Whenever it comes to like just getting on Facebook and Discord groups or whatever
Right.
and buying and trading there, I've always been finicky about anything remotely like that. So this is a big deal. And as long as people don't learn how to replicate this, then we're in a good place.
That was the big thing, and I'm not skilled or technically knowledgeable enough. The biggest argument was, okay, like they've revealed this, so why can't it be replicated? I don't know. Like, obviously, there's some technique that can't be replicated, which is why they're confident enough to show this. So again, just all around a good win for the collectors and whatnot. Very, very happy to see this. So please, if you are buying those iconic cards, please make sure that if they're not graded, they at least have the security stamp, the security foiling. So again, four rarities are going to be receiving this. So all in all, a good play for the collectors. And really, imagine if Maui Shark had this. Making sure that very high value legendaries like Maui Shark would benefit from this. So a win all around.
And I think the next thing outside of this, of things that were revealed at Gen Con during the second anniversary panel, were special collector's quest. Again, if you want to talk about things that are good for collectors and the social side of the market, we have these collection quests, which we saw the first iteration of at Gen Con, but we now know finally we are seeing some come to the parks, and Disney themselves are getting involved and making experience built around Lorcana within the parks. Right now, they're only taking place in Disney's California Adventure. I think they said that it is at the Beast Library within the Animation Pavilion. I'm unfamiliar with where it's actually located. I've never been to Disneyland. I'm a world guy. I'm East Coast. But This is set to start, I guess, right at the release of Fabled. So when Fabled releases, this will start there. It will be a collection quest that I presume is based around Beauty and the Beast, most likely, because it
I
is
would
taking
hope.
place within the Beast Castle. Yeah. And for participating in this, and for those who haven't listened to the previous podcast or anything, we have a designated video that covers collection quest. But you get a piece of paper that actually might be harder to do now that I think about it. But we'll get into that. But you get a piece of paper that has a list of cards that you need to collect that are from a set movie or IP. You get 3 packs to open, and then when you open those 3 packs, you have to see if you have any within the pack that fits that criteria, and if you don't, or if you're missing some, then you're supposed to go trade with other Illumineers and try to make sure that everybody gets what they need in order to complete this collection quest. And then in the end, if you've completed it, you get a special promo. But now that thinking about it out loud, when we were at Gen Con, we were in pods and we had different IPs that we could sit there and trade for. If everybody is trying to get the exact same thing, might be a lot harder to accomplish.
Might be. They didn't give more specific details around how that works because I know at Gen Con they did have Ravensburger employees walking around the room helping people fill the gaps and whatnot. But if everyone's trying to do the same thing, yeah, maybe there's going to be differences in the franchises and stuff like that. We don't know yet. We don't know what is everyone going to get the same franchise or are there going to be varying franchises? We just don't know yet.
So with this, you will get a pack of Fabled, and if you complete it, you will get a Bell Mystic as a promo card. And
Beautiful.
this is not any normal promo card, but it is a special promo card that will be marked down on the bottom with a new logo that they are calling their Magic Places logo. That you will now, going forward, be able to find promos like this at Disneyland, Disney World, and any other Disney operated venues. I assume the Disney stores and stuff like that as well.
One would hope. I think there's a second graphic as well, not to talk about what we're getting ready to talk about, but the Sapphire Bell has that blown up a little bit.
Yes.
I knew that'd be a better one there because I know the Amethyst Bell is standard size, but that on the Sapphire one is blown up a little bit. So that's cool. We've been asking for this for months. Literally since we started the podcast, we've been like, when can we get more in the parks? And the fact that not only
This is
we
the
have
first iteration of it.
first iteration of it in the parks, but also on the cruise lines as well. We have collection cards. We mentioned that in our Gen Con last episode. So there are specific collection quests coming to Disney Cruise Line specifically. Well, let me backtrack. Nothing has been officially announced. They are testing it on select cruise ships. Let's get that record straight. No one from Ravensburger has really acknowledged this. Even Greg on the Lorecast was like, "Yeah, cruise ships," something like that. It's kind of how it went. Folks who have recently sailed on the Disney Treasure have also been given the opportunity to get a collection quest and receive exclusive promos from there. So we need this in World, but I think the big thing with World is logistically, how do you handle that volume? I mean, Disneyland gets a lot of visitors each day, right? But World, you're looking at a lot of people.
Where to do it at? Again, I'm not familiar enough with Disneyland to know what that space is of like the Beast Library and the Animation Pavilion. I know in our Magic Kingdom and Disney World that the Beast Castle isn't isn't really
In
a
the corner,
castle,
way up here.
right? Yeah, partly a restaurant. So I mean, you can't really do that there. I just location wise, I don't know where they would do it. I personally, me being a Disney fan and knowing Disney's past with TCGs, there was once a trading card game that they had within the parks called Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. And you could go into Magic Kingdom and part of your ticket, your magic band or whatever that you had, you could go to the fire station right there at the entrance of Main Street, and you could get a free pack every day that you went there for free. It was part of your ticket, and that was just a cool trading card game that was kind of like an augmented game that you could actually travel around different parts of the park and interact with it the same way that you saw kind of like for the 100th anniversary or whatever anniversary
Yeah.
it was. You could take your magic band and interact with the statues, except the cards interacted with different things. It was pretty neat. So to me, easily you could do it there. And if you're not doing collection quest, cool. Let's do collection quests while supplies last, kind of like you're seeing at DCA, because there's not a time frame on it. It's while supplies last. Yeah, this would be fun to do. But heck, even if you're doing something as far as giving us the signature cards, of going back to giving
Yeah.
us the promo cards with the signature lines on them for the characters to autograph, and you give those out at the firehouse or whatever location you have.
Yeah.
Can be
There's
done.
to me, I'm shocked that we don't have that yet. I talked about this in the previous podcast, but whenever I went to Disneyland this year, I did have to go to the secondary market to find a signature card. That was some a lot of people, and even John Dillon, like, you paid how much for that card? But like that was a memory that I wanted to create with my wife and her first time at Disneyland, and being Lorcana players visiting for the first time. That was something that I wanted to make sure that happened. But there's no there's no reason why we can't sell those cards for a couple bucks in a park and it'd be a signature card. So there's still room to grow in the parks, right? There's still a lot of work to be done. But the fact that we're getting these in the parks, but also on the cruise lines, I think is pretty big. And I want to talk briefly about those Disney Cruise Line promos real quick. So briefly, if you look at the collection quest for Disney Cruise Line, it is Azurite Sea. I actually didn't see this until Dylan uploaded it to our show notes. So, Dylan, I assume this came from somebody who's sailing on
Walt Disney World
trying to read the
News
fine print.
today is
Okay,
where it came from.
that's where it came from. So it looks like it's an Azurite Sea Collector's Collection Quest. I say collectors, it's not collectors, it's collection, but Azurite Sea Collection Quest, where you fittingly you get to find 3 Kakamuras, a Hey Hey, a Moana, and islands I pulled from the sea. So very themed, but let's talk about the promo that you get for completing, or more like promos you get for really participating. So we talked about this in our Gen Con episode. Lorcana has been tested on Disney Cruise Line before. That is confirmed. There is a very old article on Mushi Report where right before the game released, they were testing this with Ryan Miller on a Disney cruise ship. Ryan Miller, and probably the reason why he missed Gen Con is because he was on board the Disney Treasure, and they are quietly testing this Lorcana Collection Quest event on the Disney Treasure, which is the newest cruise ship, focuses on 7-night itineraries. But here's the promos that you could get on the cruise ship. Again, these are cards we've seen before, but each have their own unique border and even their own unique rarity symbol at the very bottom. But on qualifying, that's the word I'm looking for, on qualifying itineraries, there is a pirate night where where your meals are pirate themed, and there's a fireworks and a pirate band. Every stateroom gets a Mickey Mouse promo. Dylan, any guesses as to how many staterooms are on the Disney Treasure?
I've never been on a cruise before, so I have no idea. But I mean, the way that you have talked, that's a lot of Mickey promos.
On the Disney Treasure, there is 1,256 staterooms. So every cruise itinerary, every week, there's 1,256 promos going on. Now, here's the thing: we don't know how long they are testing this. It could be a one done. We don't know, but Pirate Night giveaway is pretty big. Meetup sessions, that is pretty big. That gets the Goofy Expert Shipwright. If you've never taken the Disney cruise, there is once you are on board and connected to the Wi-Fi, you can see all the free events and stuff like that you can participate in. And Lorcana is not one of those things. On my last sailing on the Disney Wish, I actually found a group of Lumineers on the cruise ship, and we had picked 2 dates and times during our sailing to meet and play Lorcana. So that's currently the extent of it, but it appears they're doing play or trade sessions to receive a Goofy promo card. If you complete your collection quest, the Kakamora, the Moana themed one, you will receive the Donald Duck Buccaneer. For your advanced quest, which we mentioned this
which we have not seen yet.
We have not seen this, but they at Gen Con they did have a harder rarity collection quest. So assuming that's the same thing, you will receive a Daisy Duck promo card. We don't know if it's the same thing or not. So to be continued on that one, probably. Thoughts? I think that's where they're going with this.
I genuinely don't know if the other photo that we showed, the Azurite Sea collection, if that is just marketing, or because we know at Gen Con there was collection quest for every set that has came out, all the way from first chapter all the way up to Reign of Jafar. I go back to the argument that if everybody participating had to get the same cards, it would be a lot harder to do. I would like to think that this Azurite Sea collection quest that we are seeing is just a marketing stint to show off the sailors and sea and selling or whatever, and that you're still going to end up seeing like a diverse pool of different types of collections. That way more people can complete it, and then you will still have the higher ranked or the harder one per se, which isn't going to be made up of commons and uncommons, but you might see some rares and super rares in it. I think the one me and you were in, someone actually had to get a Tamatoa.
So shiny,
like yeah.
Super rare.
Definitely be harder to complete.
Yeah.
Definitely, I just can't see it being one collection quest.
No, it has to be multiple. Lastly, our 5th and final promo is the Minnie Mouse. Oh goodness, what's her tagline? It's the Ruby Minnie Mouse. Look out, something look out. I feel I forget her tagline.
Pirate Lookout.
Pirate Lookout. Yep. So something notable too is you get this promo if you purchase the Stitch Collector's gift set at Mickey's main sale. Very fitting because that Stitch Collector's gift set is
Pirate Stitch.
Pirate Stitch, yep. So this confirms something else, is that at least the Stitch Collector's gift set is going to be available in Mickey's main sale, which is the name of the gift shop on all Disney cruise ships. So selling Lorcana, this is the only information we have. But I'm very excited about this. Now here's the thing: it's only on the Treasure. I am on the Destiny in February, and the Destiny will be the newest ship come this November. And I'm hoping that they will either A, continue the test and expand it to the newest ship, or B, just go ahead and be like, this was a success, let's do it on all the cruise ships. I will say this, though, and something that Dylan mentioned yesterday, the secondary market for these promo cards, I feel like, is a little crazy right now.
Ridiculous. It's disgusting.
People can do whatever you want with your money in the secondary market, but right now I think the average cost of these promo cards is what, $100 a pop. I think we saw on eBay going for the secondary market,
or more, depending on which ones.
I would just hold tight. Like, I know we don't talk a whole lot about telling people to hold or not hold on this, but I'd hold out personally. I'm not doing this. I'm not buying the secondary market.
Here's the thing. We're not going to release this podcast episode until a week later.
Right.
As of this moment, we have no actual Ravensburger confirmation. All of the signage and stuff that we're showing in these pictures, yes, it has Ravensburger's logo slapped on it. We know that Ryan Miller was on the cruise ship or whatever, but they have not came out in any way, shape, or form, as far as I'm aware of, and actually said anything during one of the Lorecast, put out a news article, or anything
Uh,
about it. Within the time that we finish recording this and the time that we post it, maybe we will have more news. Maybe we won't. But eventually they will come out and they'll talk about it. The secondary market right now is just it's new, it's fresh, so it's
Yep.
going to be expensive. But we got to make sure that over time those prices do come down, and if you are able to go on these cruise ships and stuff, then awesome. But we don't need everybody that goes on here that gets one of these Mickey cards out of the thousand some that are going to be on this ship and then market them all for that price.
Yeah, it's steep. It's steep, but again, that gets into a whole market thing that I'm not qualified to talk about and stuff like that. But I
These
just
aren't enchanted.
no, they're just
I mean, they're promos, and
alternate art.
I think
They're not even
it'll
alternate art.
their prices will really be determined on how long they're available. And the big thing right now, and I guess is the only argument for price, is how much does it cost you to get one of these? Because my fear with these promos and then the special or magical places promos are the ticket prices will be tied to it, because in order to get them, you might have to pay ticket prices to get into the theme parks to participate in these, or you might have to pay to go on the cruise ship to get these, which automatically increases the value because they're harder to get. I mean, that Minnie Mouse alone, not only are you having to pay to be on the cruise, then you're having to also pay to buy the Stitch collector's gift set just in order to get this one piece of cardboard.
Yeah. The barrier's there. So I'm hoping they say something about it, because right now this has a lot of people talking, including me. I'm excited at the prospect of maybe this is coming to the Destiny. So I would like to think that they're going to come out and say something. But again, they may not. This just might be a test. And this may be all we hear about it for 6 months. We don't know. Moving on from the voice crack there. So sorry, I'm like an amateur hour over here with my voice. Jeez. But moving on from the DCA and DCL, the new promos real quick. We did get confirmation. Let's talk about the buy box and release event promos. And Dylan will have to help keep me accountable here. But we got Alice Accidentally Adrift and Queen Conceited Ruler. Which one's which? Because I don't immediately recall.
Alice is the booster box topper, so if you go purchase a booster box, then you will receive the Alice with it. And then the Queen will be a participation promo that you get for participating in any pre-release events at your LGS. Then the Bell, once again, being able to get a better look at that Magical Places promo icon there, will
Mhm.
be a participation that you get, or maybe it's not participation. The way that they have it worded is that this will be exclusive to Disney operated places. So the stores and stuff like that, or even like the pin traders, and they this could be just a promo that you get with purchase.
Yep.
We'll see.
Uh,
More information to come once
more
Fabled
information
releases.
to come. More information to come. Let's hear all the other promos. Sorry, that's the image I was looking for. So the other promos as well. So we got confirmation on all the other additional promos, but these are going to be the organized play promos that you'll receive at your league. We have Curse Merfolk, which is a reprint returning card. We have Strength of Raging Fire, a very popular returning reprinted card, and
Expensive card.
expensive card. Yes, very expensive card right now. And Sisu, Daring Visitor, the 3 cost, that is your other organized play promo coming in Fabled. So there's your organized play and buy a box and pre-release event lineup whenever it comes to promos. But now, let's talk new cards. We've talked a lot about promos, a lot of promos for other reasons, right? But Fabled new cards. We got some picks.
Like 33 of them.
33
So,
of them.
Easy to narrow it down.
Much
But
easier.
yeah,
to narrate.
we have some picks, and we'll have thoughts and stuff about the amount of reprints and stuff, and maybe we'll talk about it later. But we obviously, with all the other news that we're wanting to cover, we never have enough time to actually sit down and cover every individual card that is going to be released in a set. So what we like to do is just find some special cards in particular that really stand out to us, stand out
Nah,
that
pun
we want
intended.
to yeah, that we want to talk about and discuss or shed some more light on for whatever reason. So first off, I guess I'll start us out. This one was released yesterday, and the moment it was, I was like, "This card is absolutely amazing," and it is Genie of the Lamp. This is a emerald 4-cost inkable genie who is evasive, 2/3 that quest for 2. And his ability, Let's Make Some Magic, is while this character is exerted, your other characters get +2 strength. This is a super rare card, and let me tell you, there's so many things that I can do with this card.
A lot of directions
So
this
many
time.
things. There's a lot of directions in like the different kind of decks that I can build, and I love that. But the biggest and most important thing about this card, it's something that I wish we would have had something like this sooner. Because I've played around. Let's be completely 100% real for a second. We agree that we don't want to see the Big Sisu reprinted. That's just it is what it is. I personally don't want to see Muses reprinted. I love deck building. I hate having to build around the idea of I can't put any characters in there that have less than 3 strength because they get brawled, they get Sisu'd, they get Muses, they get Under the Sea, which
Yeah.
Under the Sea is already being reprinted. I think a card like Genie is just enough that while he is exerted, he's going to give all of your other characters +2 strength. That really makes a lot of cards that would typically only have 1 or 2 strength more viable in play. And they now get around all of those different abilities that I would fear before whenever I would consider building a deck or what I would be playing against. That's not even taking into consideration how well this would work in a support deck of any kind, which I would absolutely love.
I mean, give him Ward. Because
Yeah, I
that's going to
mean,
be the order of operations is, if you are
boost
looking
everybody
to,
else's strength, give him
yeah,
ward.
yeah. He's going to be the first domino to fall if you're looking to remove this and other untraditional methods like little Sisu, etc. So I agree with your sentiment of it's been hard. It's been harder to deck build because you're like, okay, but Sisu, okay, but Brawl, okay, but little Sisu. So being able to give some umph, it's truly the most. What's the blood types like O? Like what's the universal donor like O positive or O or whatever? Like that's how I feel about this genie card. You can go in a lot of different directions.
I really like him. But secondly, a card that came out yesterday, and immediately when I saw it, I was like, "Oh man, wait a minute. You can do this?" And then like John saw something on the internet and backed me up a little bit there. But it is Circle of Life, a absolutely beautiful amber song, 8-cost inkable, sing together. And when you play this song, you can play a character from your discard for free.
It's like
So this
making
really
sure.
cool deck type. Yeah, so this really cool deck type that me and a couple of other people around my local LGS or our local LGS, but me and Dave and a couple other people, we have really been trying to build a necromancy deck, something that uses the cards within your discard pile. And this makes it work because you can go Amber Still, use your singers, but you can intentionally discard. Yeah, you're not getting whole new world and stuff, but you have tons of cards within Still. And even in Amber, there's cards like Dell and other cards that force you to discard some of whatever's in your hand. And Steel cards in particular have it to where you can discard, but when you discard, you also get to draw cards. So there's a balance there to like where you're still drawing cards and you don't have to worry about your hand running out, Then you're putting cards into your discard. You can play this and then turn around and play something for free. So
Yep.
automatically, let's think Chernabog for a minute. Chernabog is cheaper to play when you have more cards in your discard.
Yep.
Okay. There is Kristoff, who's a card that doesn't get played a lot. He's a 9-cost uninkable that costs 1 less for each song you have in your discard. So, like an Amber Steel song that does this kind of necromancy thing, he would become cheaper. And then if you turn around and discard things like Giant Mickey or the Big Goofy or anything like that, you could turn around and play them for free out of your discard onto the field thanks to Circle of Life. Not even mentioning the new Namari that gets extra strength based on how many cards are in your discard as well.
Yeah. I really like it, almost like brings a whole new meaning to draw a card then discard a card. And that's what excites me about this card in particular. Because that mechanic right now, it's like, okay, you draw a card, you're just discarding what you don't need right now. Now in Fabled, whenever I'm playing somebody and they're discarding a Chernabog or something else very high value, I'm thinking, ooh, we better watch out for Circle of Life. So it brings a whole new meaning
And
to discarding a card.
This entire deck now is a counter to discard decks.
Yep. Complete counter.
Well, two cards come to mind for me. The Mulan 1-drop. You can discard a card. And which dwarf is it?
The Doc.
Doc, that you can discard your hand and draw 2 cards.
Draw
Doc,
2.
Doc, yep.
Yeah. And those are both, one's amber and one's steel. It's like, say, Steel Song's going away. It's going to be a weird Steel Song. It's not going to be your it's going to be
necromancy.
It's going to be a discard.
Singer.
Yeah.
That's what excites me about Fabled, is I'm ready to hit the big red button and go, all right, let's break
reset.
Let's reset. And that's what we're going to see, archetypes we've never seen before.
That's my 2. I think you had one in particular you wanted to talk about, Preston.
I had one. Again, I've been on a Lorcana break. I did not touch any cards at all week. After playing so much at Gen Con, it's hard to study up on it. And even doing our doubleheader recording podcast, I'm like, what are these cards are? But one in particular, one that Dylan actually had a custom card of. And we did not get a chance to show that on the podcast because that was in our scrapped episode before Gen Con. But the Magic Feather, an amethyst 2-cost inkable item. Love the art. But 2 abilities. Now you can fly. When you play this item, choose a character of yours. While this item is in play, that character gains evasive. So this is the first time, I think. Yes, I believe this is the first time that we have a item that is giving evasive to a character for as long as it is in play. The exception to that would almost be like the Hero Hamada, which is all cards with cards under them get ward and evasive. So that would be the exception. But for as long as this item is in play, a character of yours gains evasive. The second ability being Grounded, where you can pay 3 ink and return this item to your hand. This excites me for a couple reasons. I know we didn't talk about it in this episode, but Amazon did inadvertently reveal a Dumbo that plays off of the evasive mechanic and other characters gaining evasive. So I'm excited to play around with this mechanic a little bit. I could see it maybe being used in a little bit more of a amber amethyst aggressive type situation, like keeping things like your high cost questers and stuff like that safe. I'm excited just to play around with this card. I think it's fun. It's themed very well. You can return it back to your hand. The character can no longer fly, so he loses evasive. Like, very, very thematic, in my opinion. I see Dylan's head cogs turning. It's amazing how we've done this enough. I can look at Dylan and be like, I know you're thinking about something. What's going to mind?
Green purple, actually. I'm going
Yeah.
back to Leon and a lot of his decks that he's played with returning items. So the whole point of wanting to pay 3 ink to return this item to your hand is because it's not an exert item, right? So
Yeah.
whenever you
Fair.
play it, you have to choose the character that gains evasive. Okay, but like what happens when that character is now gone? Like if that character is banished, you still have this item. Well, while this item is in play, that character gain. Yeah. If that character is banished, this item is still in play.
It's set in
It's
there.
not giving evasive to anything. It's just setting there. So you can return it to your hand. Or if you want to return it to play it and give one of your other characters evasive. There are a lot of actions and characters within Emerald and Amethyst, both there, that like, especially Emerald, that like whenever you play them, you can return items and characters back to your chosen player's hand or even to your hand. So
Yeah.
I think something like that would be beneficial to this to get around having to pay the 3 ink, just to return
Yeah.
it to your hand for free in case you need to ink it, or if you want to go ahead and give that evasive to another character.
Fair. Let's see here. John, did you have a pick? I know that you just got back from being on the road, but I think the
No,
Circle of Life is
yeah, I
pretty good.
mean that's really been the only one that's kind of stood out. I haven't had a chance to really look at all the new cards, the new cards, not the
Wow.
reprints. Yeah, so
Reveal season.
yeah, and when you're on the road, what's funny is I've been on the road here, not away from the house. When I'm on the road here, it's almost like I have less time because I get home late, I eat dinner, and I go to bed. It's like I don't get to go back to a hotel room at 4 o'clock and sit around and do stuff. So I really haven't looked at anything. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning is sit down and look at everything while I eat breakfast.
Yeah.
So I
No, a
can't make
lot
an
of fun.
educated guess.
He's catching up live right here during
Yeah,
the
really,
podcast.
I am because like I have not watched.
This is how this podcast started to
Yeah.
begin with, was just John listening to me and Preston rant back and forth, and then he was like, "Guys, you guys should talk about this. Let's do a podcast. Let me
We're
host
just
it."
John's personal
This is
art.
why.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, forget the rest of you guys.
Well, and that's what I told my wife on the way to Gen Con. I was like, I just wanted a podcast just for me. Was that wrong? Was that wrong for me to just be it just for me and keep it in my own little world?
We are now across all social, probably what 500 deep.
It's
so
fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with it. It's fine.
No, a lot of fun cards coming to Fabled. We are in the middle of reveal season, and by the time this episode airs, we probably know a lot more. So a lot of fun cards coming.
And with that, I think we've now come to my favorite set going forward, which in the past I guess was Arcasia's, but now we're stuck here. We know that this prologue, we are in a situation where Fabled is about to happen, and Fabled is this celebratory set for new players, new Illuminaries coming to the game. But my favorite part of Lorcana, being the lore and the story, will all get picked back up and continue when set 10 releases. Is it set 10?
Yep.
Whispers of the Well. Super excited. So looking at it, I think we actually got date confirmation for the first time. Right? Could be wrong here.
November 7th pre-release.
November 7th pre-release, and then November 14th full release, which again, I think this is going to be like the second or third set release in a row where there's only been a 1 week gap between LGS release and full big box release. So go out and support your LGSs. I mean, they only get like a week heads up on all these retail places. Go support them. Go pre-order. Go play your pre-release events. But yes, Whispers in the Well. We have that art there, and we know that Whispers in the Well is going to be a much darker tone, which we've asked for. We've asked for seasonal sets, and this is the first time we're really seeing that. And I think it was announced, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was announced during the actual panel that the well itself, and this is the only story-related thing that we really got, is that the well itself from Whispers of the Well is located inside the Illuminary. Because I think you were like, you leaned over to me and you were like, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah, no, we talked about that in our video, and the well is actually inside the Illuminary. So
Which I fully, this is what I thought the entire time. And I plan on making a separate video later on talking about it and discussing it on the other channel. But to me, the well is the heart of the Illuminary. I think back to like Fantasia with the brooms and the way that the brooms work all throughout the Illuminary, and you see that scene where they go to the well and they're carrying the buckets of water, and to me, that's all I can think about is this well of magical ink that resides within the heart of the Illuminary and pumps this magical fluid of this ink and allows everything to just come to life with magic and allows these glimmers to exist and this world to exist. And I think the flood may have caused something to happen because we know after the flood, during Shimmering Skies, the Great Illuminary started to fall apart and it has not been fixed since. So I feel like now that we've talked to Arcasia, we're learning from Arcasia, the Illuminary's next goal is to go and fix the Illuminary. And the best way to do that is potentially to go into the well, into the heart of a luminary, get to the bottom of what's going on, and try to fix things. But in the process of doing that, we're going to run into some new IP with Gargoyles and the Black Cauldron, which we can see Gargoyles. What's his name? Broadway? In the
yeah,
very back left-hand corner, right behind the Whispers in the Well logo in that art.
yep, there he is, hanging out there, very far left.
I don't know if John's still searching for the image. Okay. But in that image, we can see a couple of other things that we should talk about real quick. I know in the past, whenever Arcasia's, I think, was coming out, we talked about all the hidden things that were hinting at dual ink. And we've been looking at this image for a while now, a couple of different podcast episodes, looking at all these pages, which you can see the Mickey Glimmer holding one here of the Ariel, and then you can see the one of like Arthur, the Sapphire Archer one that just got revealed as being reprinted, and all kinds of this magical pages floating around within the well, and you can see that they're all ripped and torn. Well, that brings
Yeah.
us to the new type of glimmers, whispers. And from what has been said, whispers will be glimmers that are partially formed, that they are not all the way formed. So with their lore pages that are normally used to create these glimmers are ripped or torn, you can only make a partial glimmer. You don't have the full picture there. So that's interesting to keep in mind story wise going forward. So outside of that, I want to bring focus to this Mickey Mouse in particular and have everybody take a good look at this Mickey because he kind of looks like the detective Mickey that we've seen in the first chapter?
First chapter, yep, Seaweed Mickey.
Yeah, but slightly different. We could tell that this is potentially it kind of looks like a Floodborn, and in the past I've said it's a Floodborn, but now I don't think so. I think this is Venturo's Glimmer. You can see Venturo there behind him, and Venturo has Sapphire Ruby ink. That's what he uses. But this Mickey in particular gives me the vibes of another card that we've seen real recent, especially if you pay attention to the cape that he is wearing. But if we actually go back, and I don't know if we have a picture of it now, but it is the Emerald Champion, the Goofy Emerald Champion that we got in as a promo at GenCon whenever you went and purchased something at the Ravensburger booth. We know that this champion card or whatever is something that is coming in Whispers in the Well. Here is my argument. If there is an Emerald Champion, what's not to say that there's not a champion for every other ink color?
There has to be. Why would
right?
why would
I
there
mean,
not
think about it. We got the coils. There was a coil for every ink color. There was a chromacon for every ink color. And there's got to be a champion for every ink color. So knowing that Goofy is the Emerald Champion, part of me truly feels like that this Mickey that we are seeing in the Whispers in the Well key art here is the Sapphire Champion. Maybe the Steel. Well, I wouldn't say Steel because again he's with Venturo, so maybe he's the Sapphire Champion. With there being 6 ink colors, with 1 champion per ink color, and Goofy already being saying that like he is the Emerald Champion, I have the prediction that the 6 champions will be the sensational 6. That you will have Goofy, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Pluto, all of them will be your different champions, and they will each represent a different ink color. And in that Goofy promo, you can see him on a rope, and I think that he's actually, like, story-wise, he's descending into the well in that art. And if you pay attention to all the pages that are surrounding him, and if you're able to zoom into them at all, they actually are his counterparts with Goofy, Mickey, Minnie, and all the crew.
Yep. It's gonna be the 6. Each it's like coils all over again, except actual glimmers, like Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby Champion.
We'll
No,
see it going forward.
we'll see. That's a pretty good prediction, though. I mean, we got we're not just you're not just throwing something at a board. We actually have art to back it up.
Yep.
So I would be I would be I wouldn't be surprised if that's right because that's pretty good.
Then outside of the actual packaging, which we'll talk about the packaging in a minute, the other big thing that we are getting is Zootopia 2. Mind you, Whispers in the Well releases on November 7th, then Big Box released on November 14th. Zootopia 2 is set to release on November 26th. So the movie itself will coincide to an extent with the release of Whispers in the Well, and we were receiving more Zootopia cards and more detective cards. So I think, what do we have here? Which one do you want to pull up first? I think maybe putting it all together. The
Yeah.
2-cost inkable action shows off Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, and this is probably before they actually go into the well itself. But it's chosen opposing character can't challenge during their next turn, and you get to draw a card. And then the flavor text down on the bottom is Judy talking, saying, "Okay, so these ghastly glimmers were first seen here, and the trail of torn lorebook pages started in this part of the Illuminary." So it's almost as if they're being detectives and they're trying to track down the origins of these torn lorebook pages of like where the whispers started, which will eventually lead them down the well. Then not really going to go, we'll just flash over them real quick, but you have the 4-cost inkable Judy Hopps Uncovering Clues. She's a 3/3. When you play this character and whenever she quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal a detective character card and put it into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And you can see her there again with all kinds of ripped lorebook pages straight from a lorebook, as if someone's came by and just ripped them all up. You can see somebody has disrespected Chief Bogo, and there is a ripped Chief Bogo lore page there up top. Then lastly, we have the 5-cost uninkable Nick Wilde Persistent Investigator. I think during the second anniversary panel, someone said how dashing he looks, and Greg was like, "Well, yeah, he is a fox." This is a Floodborn ally detective. So again, playing into allies. I think we like when all this was being revealed, me and you were like, "Man, Sapphire still ally or Sapphire still detectives." It's another cool little social deck. We'll see how it plays. It's kind of a strong boy too, though. He's a 5/4, quest for 2, shift 3. So now we got to have some smaller Nick Wilds he can shift onto because I don't think we have any still Nick Wilds.
Mhm.
And then his ability is case closed during your turn. Whenever one of your detective characters banishes another character in a challenge, draw a card. Remember, still's not about drawing cards, but we still find ways to draw cards.
Ink identity, right?
Ink identity.
And how fitting too, because we are now like really truly investigating something. So I think it was a good time to bring in Zootopia too. Now, something I'm going to be very curious to see
Are you
with was it
we on the same page? You
with
gonna say
movies?
what you gonna yeah?
Yeah. So one thing I'm hoping that we're going to see, considering that Zootopia 2 coincides with the release, could we see another promo card in select theaters like we saw with Moana 2?
That's why I bring up the date. Is
Yep.
because we haven't seen it since Moana 2. I thought we might see something with the live action Lilo and Stitch, but again, that was live action. So
Yeah,
the
animated.
next big title, I mean, we already see them. They're doing more things for the collectors in the parks and on cruise lines. Why not bring it back and do this? I mean, it
See,
would
no,
get me. I would go to the movies and see it rather than waiting for it to come on Disney Plus if I'm getting a promo card with it as well.
I took myself on a little. I was on the road. I was on a work trip, and I was like, I'm going to take my happy butt down and watch Moana 2. And that's what I did. I even expensed a bottle of water and some snacks because I was on a work trip, and now obviously I pay for the ticket myself and whatnot, but I had a little snack. So I'm hoping they do it. I see no reason not to, but maybe supply demand whole thing. So how
See,
fitting, how fitting, and to see where we go, because again, the Fabled's a celebration set, not a whole lot going on, but now we're getting into Whispers in the Well. I know Whispers in the Well was a set that we were, I don't want to say harsh on, but we were kind of taken aback whenever it got initially announced, because we didn't even have Rain and Jafar yet, and I think we were talking about Whispers in the Well or Fabled or even something like that. So
that's crazy. Yeah, thinking about it actually, because we were like, man, we don't even have product for Rain and Jafar yet. Why are they showing this off? And then I'm over here now, like, man, get Fabled out of the way. Give me my story back. Give me
give me,
Whispers in the
give me
Wild.
my story back. But
But the
speaking of, go
last
for it.
thing with Whispers in the Well is we actually have some product reveals and some packaging that shows off a couple more of those whispers and a couple more glimmers from Whispers in the Well. So the booster packs themselves, we see that they're going to have a Daisy Duck who could very well be a detective as well. And then we have another look, our first actual look, I guess. I mean, we saw Broadway a little bit, but our actual first look at another gargoyle. This is Demona from the Gargoyle series. And then this Gaston, who is a whisper. And you can kind of see the difference between the actual glimmers and the whispers on all of these packagings. So this Gaston will be a partial glimmer. He will be a whisper. We still do not know how they're going to work, what the mechanic will be, whether it's going to be something like that vanish keyword that popped up and it'll only be on set cards, if it'll be like a new shift type. I no clue, but we'll see. And then on these single player decks, we have an, an amber emerald deck that shows off a Mufasa Whisper and a Megara Whisper. And then lastly, we have that Sapphire Still, which I am hoping is that Sapphire Still detective deck, single player deck that shows off the Judy Hopps, and a Arthur, or not Arthur, a Robin Hood
First,
Whisper.
Arthur grew a lot more hair, if that's Arthur.
Yeah, he did. Sorry. I'm
We're
still waiting for that
tired.
Arthur reprint. Yeah, a Robin Hood Whisper.
Did you
And
notice
I'm
what's
sure
new?
that we'll see these again sometime soon. I'm sure they'll show off the rest of it and whatever the trove and the booster box packaging and everything else is as well.
Did you notice what's new about the single player decks?
Oh no. What
There's
what we got going
promos.
on?
Look on the side of the
There's
box.
what?
There's promos. There are what appears to be those kind of border promos that we see with the puzzles, which we'll talk about, and the Lilo gift set. It's not alt art.
Well, I don't think those are promos, Preston. I think those are the whispers.
Oh, do they have a border?
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't the
Because
border of the
if
Whispers
you
have
look,
those?
I
compare compare the one on the right. Look at the
hold on.
Judy Hopps, because the Judy Hopps is a normal card, and then the Arthur underneath it has that framing. So the
I'm
whispers will
going.
have that special look.
So let's see. So I was actually listening to another podcast where somebody had mentioned that there were promos back in the single player decks, and I was like, huh. So I was sitting here, yeah. So I'm looking at a little bit more higher resolution image here. On the side of the box, it says 2 foil cards inside, and I'm looking at the one with Robin Hood and Judy Hopps. It is Robin Hood. It is gold, but yeah, is that there is
That's just
a
a whisper.
subline. So yeah, I think the Whispers get a dedicated border potentially.
Yeah, I mean those will just be your 2 foil cards. I think every single player deck for the most part has 2 foil cards in them.
Yep. So the Whispers potentially having foils. I don't know if you knew that going into this, but I was sitting there, I was like, oh, that looks interesting. So we're finding this out live. So that's cool. Looks like there's special. Yeah, I'm very curious now. I want to know what the side of this says. I don't think anyone's been able to decipher it, but clearly it's some sort of ability. So that's fun.
And it's interesting that the whispers, if you can zoom in on the cards themselves, the big thing is they have that black border that we only have seen on Floodborne cards to this extent.
Yeah, like right above the text and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like where your tags are.
I'm seeing that.
The
Yeah.
tagline it's a black line or border instead of the normal one that you would get. Again, normally we've only seen that in Floodborne cards, so it makes me curious as to if these could shift or not. De-shift.
Find out.
I don't know.
Find
We'll
out.
see.
But that wasn't the only
But
set
moving
that
on
we
for Whispers. No, it's not, because not only did they show off set 10, but they went ahead and showed off both sets 11 and 12. So, well, to an extent, but starting with set 11, running again with that thematic seasonal theming,
We've
we
talked about
have Winterspell. This is something that we have wanted for a long time, that we thought that these sets should coincide with the seasons, because they're playing so far out in advance. I think John brought it up the other day, and I watched it earlier. Aaron from the Illuminaries did a interview with Elaine, and they said that they're currently working on set 20. So they really do plan things out way out in advance, not only the cards in particular, but like my favorite thing about hearing that is they're planning what's going on, what are the Illumineers getting up to, why are they there, and how can we base the cards around that? Because to me, that's the story, that's the lore, that's the love that I care about in this game.
it.
But we see in quarter 1, 2026, love these taglines that they added. Flurries of fun. Get ready to chill out for the coolest adventure to storm the realm of Lorcana, Winterspell. And we see Stitch snowboarding there with Angel. And the moment we saw this, my daughter was like, all right, I'm playing Lorcana. It's a
I'm
wrap.
in.
Let's go.
Give me a play mat. Let's go. That's
Why
funny.
in the world everything is frozen, covered in snow, and the Great Illuminary in the back is frozen over? No clue. Not a single idea. And again, normally I have at least some speculation. I have no clue what's going on. So we'll see. I love
No.
it. We'll find out. The big thing that came out of this, and I did again, I watched the panel back. It was not advertised in the panel. But it was said during the main stage the other day that not only are we getting Angel, but it has been confirmed that Winterspell will be working with Lilo and Stitch, the series.
Yep.
So not just Angel, but all of the
All of them.
cousins. Give me Ruben.
Where's Ruben at? No, it's gonna be fun. Like, I wonder if this is gonna be like another like Fabled, where like the story kind of takes a backseat for a set, and we just kind of do something fun thematic with the seasons. Because we kind of saw that with Whispers in the Well. We're getting into spooky season, and we're having a darker with Gargoyles and everyone else in Black Cauldron. So it's fun to see them. It's fun to have it take a little breather in a sense. But I'm gonna be I'm with you, Dylan. I'm very curious to see what exactly happened in the Illuminary to cause this to happen. Like, or is it just a snowstorm? Like,
Right.
did water
Did the
just happen?
seasons really just change?
Or did something go terribly south in the Illuminary while Goofy was hoisting into the well? I don't know. We'll find out.
But here's an idea that you actually had and you've brought up. I don't remember. Maybe it was right there in the panel. Currently, we know that we are getting Minnie and Mickey as iconic cards. Going forward, looking at some of the things that we're about to talk about, including this, we're seeing that there are two main characters here that are being advertised, being Stitch and Angel. So if hypothetically we just follow the path and follow the patterns that they've already created, which is hard to do whenever we haven't really got iconics yet, but when we do, it's only going to be the first time. There's only two. So if we keep that pattern of only having two, could you see Stitch and Angel being iconic cards?
So that's something that I think they've addressed. They don't know. I don't think they know if every single set will have iconic cards going forward. I don't think we'll see iconics in Whispers in the Well. But I would like iconics to be in every other set type thing. I'm afraid if they do it every set, I'm afraid that might get a little fatiguing, a little bit. But I like the idea of having two I say chase, but two ultra rare cards that fit the theme of the set that are like the creme de la creme of the collector cards to have.
I
So
think a chase card is it's good wording for it. It's what it's used everywhere else.
yeah, it's the collectible. It's the cards from a collector's perspective. It is the cards to have from that set. So, could I see it? Yes, but then if I say yes to Winterspell, that kind of defeats my theory for set 12 and everything. If they do this, but I don't know. We could see it. I don't think I don't think iconic cards are really gonna keep themselves to a strict standard. I think is just when it fits. We may get 2 or 3 sets of iconic cards, and then we may have one set without. We don't know yet. So I never say never. It's just what's the threshold for iconic cards, and we right now we just don't know what that threshold is.
And then going back to Lilo and Stitch the series, I think this is the first time that we're actually getting a TV series involved in Lorcana that's not from the Disney Afternoon block.
Yeah, I think it is the first TV series. So that'd be fun.
This is
Kind
more
of
up my alley. Yeah, like I don't know how far they're going to expand this. Like, are we just getting Lilo and Stitch the series because it revolves around Stitch, or are they going to go into that bag where they're going to bring out other cartoons from that era as well that came out around that same time that you can also throw into Lorcana?
yeah. I don't know.
See,
I guess fine. This is the only graphic we have.
yeah,
This
but
is the only
set
thing we have.
12, quarter 2, 2026. Something has been revealed that it is coming, and it's not Pocahontas. We still don't know when Pocahontas is coming. We
No
know
idea.
she's coming in 2026, but we don't know what set. But Pixar, take it away, Preston. What's going on?
Pixar, we've known it's coming since D23 last year. We've known that Pixar is a thing, but they did have set 12 to release, or set 12 to tease rather. We know nothing about it. Q2 of 2026, unnamed. But all we have is one image. And I feel like everybody in the room was just kind of like, what is it? What is it? We were listening to the music, we were watching the graphic, and then as it slowly panned out to the full image, Toy Story. There was Woody pointing at the Great Illuminary, Buzz sitting there, I looking in that direction, pointing, we are going here. So at least Toy Story is coming in Q2 of 2026 in Lorcana. And Dylan can attest, I was in tears. Not like crazy tears, but I did tear up whenever I saw this because this is the franchise that I identify the most with in terms of growing up. Yeah, I've had my favorite franchises with Atlantis and Treasure Planet, but this is, we all knew it was coming, but I think it goes without saying there it's going to be a Toy Story set. I don't see them not doing a heavily themed Toy Story set. Just plain and simple. Probably the big, I don't know where Toy Story falls in valuable franchises, but has to be top 5 of the Disney IP library, if not number 1. I don't know. I could be wrong.
You would be surprised. You would be extremely surprised what Pixar franchise actually is the most valuable, but I can assure you it's not Toy Story.
Yeah,
It's
not
actually
Toy Story.
Cars. Cars, for
Cars.
whatever reason, is the most valuable franchise. Ridiculous to think about. People aren't going to believe me when they hear that, but go fact check me. Cars as a IP has made more money than Lion King.
That's
And
insane to think about.
that's mostly just the toys and
Yeah.
stuff alone. But
But
yeah,
no,
I mean, we see all the snow is gone. All
all
the
the
snow
snow's
is
gone.
melted.
All the snowsmen. Don't know where they're at in the realm of Lorcana, but we do know that there's
In the Inkland somewhere.
in the Inkland somewhere at this pointing. I don't know if this little flow of ink or something like that towards the Illuminary is anything to be of concern with because this is the only image we have. But it's exciting to think about. I'm gonna be very curious to see how the Toy Story art style fits into Lorcana, and this is something that my wife and I actually talked about. Is they've pulled from franchises from all different eras, right? The early '90s, I say the early '90s, but older franchises from the '70s, '80s, '90s, the early 2000s, 2010 franchises. So we're very curious to see how they take the Toy Story art design and make it Lorcanify it. If we don't get Woody and Buzz iconic cards, I'm gonna flip this table. Just straight up. If we don't
I
get
just
Woody
want the
and Buzz,
claw.
the claw as an item. I want
Give
the
me the
claw.
claw. I mean, if we're getting Winterspell and it's going to have all the cousins and all the aliens in it, alien decks are about to eat. Give me the toy aliens. Give them a toy tag. Give them the alien tag, and then give me the claw as an item that allows me to look at the top 3 cards of my deck, and then every alien card that's there,
Oh.
I get to put it in my hand. Yeah, 3, right? See,
Claw one
I,
out. It's wishful thinking, and this is the last thing I'll say about it because this is just purely speculation. But I would like. It's not going to happen, but I would like Zerg to be a big bad. It's not going to happen. It's going to be your traditional villains, Maleficent, Hades, whoever. The idea of having like Zerg being the big bad and having this enchanted promo of Zerg and the Zerg champion mat, it's goofy to think about, but it's wishful thinking. But I'm confident we're gonna get Zerg. I'm excited to see what Jesse. I almost said Sandy Cheeks for a minute. I'm so tired. But I'm excited for this franchise. Yeah, I was very happy to see this iconic franchise coming to Lorcana. So still no Pocahontas, but by golly, we got Toy Story. We knew it was coming, and I had a pretty good idea that whenever they got the green light for Pixar, I was like, "There's no way that they're going to let
this
Toy
was going to
Story
be the first. Toy Story was going to be the first Pixar revealed.
Yeah,
Dude,
Like,
imagine a Slinky Dog, but you get like the front half of Slinky Dog and then the back half of Slinky Dog, and it's an extended art.
Could you imagine pull the lever and wrong lever, but if it was the first and second halves of Slinky Dog,
Slinky.
Mr. Potato Head? What if there was like an item deck where you get the base of Mr. Potato Head and the eyeball and the feet? It'd be like I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, but it would be like assembling Exodia or whatever.
But it's all the pieces of Mr. Potato Head.
John's just shaking his head like I am tired. Anyway, that's enough of Toy Story. One final piece. What was that?
I was going to say I'll add on to Dylan talking about Cars being the most valuable franchise. The movies only made the three Cars movies only made $1.4 billion.
Only
the money that makes it the most valuable is the $20 billion in merchandise that they have sold for Cars.
It's the toys.
It's the toys.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's what makes it the most valuable.
Can't wait for that.
It's not the music. It's not the movies. It's just the merchandising sales. The merchandising. Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
Can't wait. We'll get Mater. Mater's going to be like, hey, he's going to return in every set, but it's going to be from like Mater's Tall Tales, where you're going to have a different version of Mater in every one of them.
Disney merchandising hit these folks up. Anyway.
Moving out of all of our set talk, from Fabled to Whispers in the Well, all the way to Winterspell and whatever this will be called, we have some other really cool things to quickly talk about. And one of those is puzzles. Again, Ravensburger started as a puzzle company, and we've asked Ravensburger for a lot. We're still asking them for a lot. We're so greedy. But one of the things that we thought would be really cool was puzzles. And it turns out they are making puzzles. And they will be released at Destination D23 at the end of August, I do believe. This will also be the next time that we see Ryan Miller. I also personally think that this is when we'll see some more reveals, like Three Caballeros coming. Don't think I said their name right that time. But we have an image of these puzzles. So far, we've only seen the front part of this box. I can't wait to see more. Excuse me. I don't think we know the prices of these puzzles, but they are 1,000 piece. And they will all release again at Destination D23, and you can buy them online. The Amber, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire in particular, with the Amethyst and Still, they were recently revealed, but they were Disney exclusives that you will only be able to obtain from Disney-operated places. Again, probably the parks, Disney Store online, stuff like that. Every one of these will come with a promo Mickey Mouse. Is that the signature Mickey Mouse as well?
True friend. No, it's not the signature. It's just the true friend Mickey Mouse.
Just a true friend, but like he's still a promo nonetheless.
Yeah, still promo.
And each one of these puzzles is going to be centered around the individual ink colors. And they will showcase different glimmers from those different ink types. So something that we want to bring attention to real quick, and again, this isn't releasing for another week, but something the community has been on top of, including the Lorecast yesterday that had JDZ in it, is this idea of puzzle theory. So with merchandising and the way that merchandising typically works is when you release merchandising, you want things to make sense and you want things to work together. So why would you release this product and have these pictures of these glimmers and stuff on it if these glimmers aren't going to be a part of your game anymore, if they're not going to be reprinted? So it makes sense from a marketing idea to have all the glimmers that are in your game part of these puzzles. So people have been watching all of these glimmers and paying attention to see if they have been reprinted yet. And we're not going to go through all of them, but for the most part, just about everything that we've seen, like even looking at the Ruby one real quick, I see like the Shere Khan, the Moana, the Maleficent Dragon, Then
It's
even
on.
the Elsa,
Let's see here.
no
Hades.
Hades, Aurora. Pretty sure the Donald Duck, the Alice growing girl.
There's a few in here though that are pretty big glimmers, but we haven't heard anything. And I think the thing that might bust this theory wide open is Dylan. I know you asked for the muses not to be reprinted, but who's on
But it's
the Emerald?
there.
Is
I
there?
know, and it scares me to death seeing it there because I'm afraid that it's going to be reprinted. It very well could be. I mean,
Yeah. So far,
we just saw.
not everything has been like not everything that has been like on this puzzle has been revealed as a reprint, but so far, a good chunk of these have been, if I remember correctly.
Yes, a big chunk has. So we're just keeping an eye out on it and seeing how true puzzle theory really is. It's something the whole community is coming together with right now. The one card that stands out to me, or the one glimmer that stands out to me, we actually can't see on this image, but on the still image, you have a whole new world. And my argument was like, well, we already know whole new world's not being reprinted. So what's up with that? And then somebody even made the argument, and they were like, well, whole new world is getting a reprint in the sense that we're getting the promotional card in December.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Then outside of that, pay attention to these puzzles going forward because there are hidden ink casters, not just the hidden ink caster, but a bunch of hidden ink casters on here as well. Can't really see them in these images, and I can't wait for more images of these puzzles to come out. But I think we were at Gen Con whenever I pointed out the ones on the amethyst and the still to Preston.
You're like,
What's
what's that?
that? Yeah. So on the amethyst one, you can see Shanzi's hand. You can see her fingernails, and you can see her staff. And on the still, there's another ink caster that we have not seen before. It almost looked like a scythe, and we have no clue who it belongs to whatsoever. And they're really, really small and really, really hidden. But on the amber one, you can see Martins, and on the emerald one, you can see Arcasias. And then I suppose that there is a tiny one on the bottom right hand side of the ruby one. I've yet to find Venturo's on the sapphire one, but his is like he wears a gauntlet kind of thing too. His is really weird. Either way, there are some ink casters that we have not seen yet. So story wise, theory wise, something we've talked about in the past is Arcasia's past and the fact that she's worked with Illuminaries before. Could those ink casters potentially belong to those Illuminaries of the past?
I still think we need to go back in time. Like, I'm gonna ride that theory.
There is absolutely no reason that they put those in the lore cards. Which
Right.
I side note, I assume we're not getting lore cards in Fabled because there is no story.
Oh, yeah. Why would there be lore cards if there's no story?
Yep, that's something that Kira, it was somebody actually joined our Discord group and went over to the lore and started talking to me about that, about how they haven't advertised it yet. We're like 2 or 3 weeks out and they haven't advertised lore cards. Not getting them.
I'd be surprised if we did. What are they gonna include instead? I don't know. I'm gonna be
A
curious.
puzzle. We'll go back to
Puzzle piece.
9x9 puzzle pieces.
Not my non-puzzle. I agree with that. I think the puzzles would be fun. My in-laws are pretty big puzzlers and whatnot. I think this would be a fun pickup, especially for the holidays and a promo. I like how we're just throwing a promo and everything. like
As it should. All things should just
as
be
it
a
should.
promo should be included, no matter what.
I'll tell you, I was listening to one podcast and they were like, it should be a promo for each color in each puzzle box. It should not all be the same promo. It should be an emerald promo. It should be an amber promo. It should be a steel promo.
I get that.
I get that, but you got a collector people that would just, they would have to buy every one of them to complete that set.
Right.
And who knows how much they are.
You talking from experience there, John?
Back in the day, I used to be. Yeah, I don't do that crap anymore.
All right, last thing here. One puzzle. If you were to buy one, which one would it be?
John, let's have John go first.
I wanted the one that I'm looking at is the one with Sorcerer Mickey on it, or which
amethyst?
was the amethyst one, because I thought that one looked the coolest. But that's just me. I just thought it looked cool.
Just like in my blurple heart, probably be amethyst or sapphire. I like the Hades front and center. Enchanted treatment, by the way, we don't have time to talk about. But oh my god! But
With the
amethyst,
bald.
my bald
enchanted-
boy, yeah, my bald
Your
boy.
bald boy. Yeah, I think I'd go amethyst too. I know we all said amethyst, and we don't have the picture of the amethyst one on here. So
I know,
everybody
right?
that listens, you'll have to
Oh,
go
we all
check it
like.
out.
Sorry,
Go
that's the
find it
one
for yourself.
that's only on Disney Store. So sorry.
It'll be fun pickup. Some fun to be having. Speed puzzling. Speed puzzling was a thing at Gen Con. Can you believe that? I mean, I believe it, but it was wild to watch. They got like their bag and stuff like that. I was like, I kind of want to watch this. Screw core constructed. I want to watch speed puzzling.
Let's go speed puzzling. I'd speed puzzle these.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Oh, well, that being said, I think that wraps it up. Yeah. Again, you folks are seeing this a week later. We recorded 2 episodes in one evening and whatnot, but hey, we needed to do it because we had a lot to talk about too. So, but want to plug the Discord again. Pull up a seat rather at the ink table. It's been a long week, and join the Discord where you can join our community of folks from collectors to those obsessed with lore. I'm obsessed with lore, but I don't want to get spoiled, so I did mute that channel and the spoilers channel. And also just our table talk channel too. So having fun over on the Discord, pretty much active daily, which is a lot of fun. That's great to see. So link down inside the description. Be sure to pull up a seat and you can chat with us basically whenever, except when we're sleeping or working or doing things like that. But is what it is. But folks, doesn't matter where you are listening to this podcast on, be sure to consider subscribing, liking, dropping us a follow, what have you on your platform of choice. It helps us out more than you can ever imagine with visibility and getting more seats to the ink table rather. Email your questions or thoughts to podcast@theinktable.com. You can leave us a voicemail at voiceline.app/theinktable. And you can easily find and follow all of our socials by checking out our link tree, the ink table. Also, I do want to plug one final time. Be sure to check out all the content, all the social media channels from Gen Con, including the videos we have here on YouTube. There's a playlist that I've put together of all the shorts and stuff like that, videos, so I have that link down inside the description below. For even more Lorcana content, you can check out Storyborn Dylan's branch of Lorcana lore and whatnot for more deeper your story. But folks, we greatly appreciate you all spending time with us, and there will always be a seat for you at the ink table. We'll see you all very soon.
Bye, guys.